Welcome back. So this is part 2 of What Should I Do With My Life? Previously on Professor Shades. When choosing what to do with your life, it must tick 3 boxes. The I, the A, and the O. I stands for interest. The thing you choose, you must be interested in it. Today we're going to do the A. What is the A? The A is ability. The thing you choose, you must have the ability to do it. It sounds obvious, but again, it's trickier than it seems. Now, ability could be an athletic or artistic ability. It could be a cognitive ability, meaning it's related to intelligence and mental skills. Or it could be a psychological ability, related to your psychological makeup, your personality, the kind of person that you are. I'll give examples to clarify, as usual.
As usual.
Imagine my friend, let's call him Chris. He comes up to me and he says, "Man, I want to be a singer, man."
No, Chris. No, Chris, no.
Dude, nobody wants to hear you sing. Nobody wants to hear you talk either, if I can be honest. I don't know why I'm unnecessarily mean like that. Why do I do this? Well, I know why I do this, because I find it funny. But I don't have a friend named Chris who wants to be a singer who has an ugly voice. It's a fictional character, so I can be mean to him and it wouldn't hurt his feelings because he doesn't exist. So Chris should forget about being a singer. "No, man, but I like singing, man, and I have these dreams about being a pop star, man." Well, it might be your dream, but if you do it, it'll become people's nightmare. Don't do it. You don't have the ability to do it. Or another guy might say, "I want to be a basketball player in the NBA." Do you know how special you have to be to make it to the NBA? It's extremely competitive. You must have some special talent. You must be outstanding at basketball to make it. Are you? So if you're not really talented at basketball, forget about going to the NBA. So these were examples of artistic and athletic abilities. Let's look at cognitive abilities. Let's say you want to be an engineer, but you really suck at math. You keep getting D's and F's and you've failed most of your math courses. How are you going to be an engineer? How? How are you going to be an engineer? If you're failing all your math classes, you have no business being an engineer. You're not going to make it. Choose something else. And there's no shame in that. We all have our abilities. The engineer has certain abilities that you don't have, and you have certain abilities that the engineer might wish he has. It's okay. This is the beauty of life. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. But the smart thing to do is to leverage your abilities, to choose a field that really capitalizes on your abilities. Now let's take an example about psychological abilities. Say you want to become a surgeon, and you're smart enough and your grades are very high, you can easily get admitted into the program. However, you have to have certain psychological characteristics to be a successful surgeon. For example, you have to have calm nerves. You have to be able to work under pressure. When you're conducting surgery, the patient's life is in your hands. Any wrong move and you can literally kill the guy. Imagine you're the kind of person who cannot handle that kind of pressure. You freak out, you choke when the stakes are that high. Then you're not cut out to be a surgeon. You should get another job that suits your temperament. Or for example, you're one of those people who cannot stand the sight of blood. There are people who, if they see a drop of blood, they will actually faint, literally faint.
Literally?
How are you going to be a surgeon if you cannot see blood? The whole job involves blood. You're cutting people up. So if you faint at the sight of blood, then you don't have the psychological ability to be a surgeon. So you should look for another career. Imagine you're conducting a surgery, you open the patient up, you see blood, you faint, you hit your head on the table, now you need surgery. Bad choice. Bad choice of career. Choose something else. Now, I need you to listen very carefully. This part is extremely important. Sometimes people might tell you that you can't do a certain thing, that you're not cut out for a certain field, for a certain job, for a certain career. Don't listen to them so quickly. Don't let them define you. Don't let them tell you what you can and you can't do. Because a lot of the times, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how to recognize talent when they see it. Sometimes they don't have a very good judgment. Sometimes they don't have enough information to assess your abilities.
Was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much.
Fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no original ideas. Turned down by the Decca Recording Company, who said, "We don't like their sound and guitar music is on the way out." stupid to learn anything, and he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Cut from the high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried.
Sometimes those people are a bunch of losers, and they want to bring you down to their level. They want to destroy your dreams. They want to make you give up on your ambitions so that you become like them. Ignore these people. Ignore these losers. Ignore these haters. In short, don't let people define you. Don't let people tell you what you can and cannot do. You assess yourself. Analyze your own skills. And try to use objective standards whenever possible. One time, this girl told me that she thought that I wasn't good at math. We were discussing something, and she concluded that I'm not good with numbers. Her opinion doesn't matter, because I have objective evidence that I am very good at math. At the risk of sounding like I'm bragging or flexing, I'm just going to say this to illustrate the point. When I was in college, I scored a perfect 100 on my calculus course. And on the SAT-2, the SAT-2, the math subject test, I scored a perfect 800 out of 800. Objectively speaking, I am excellent at math. So, do I even give any weight to this girl's opinion? No, I have objective data. She can think whatever she wants. People will judge like that. Like they're not very good at assessing people. So try to get objective evidence for your ability. This way you can be more secure in your ability. You can be more confident. So if anybody tells you that you're not good at something, you can brush it off. It doesn't get to you. Now you must also avoid the other extreme. So one extreme is listening to one person telling you that you can't do a certain thing and then you believe them and give up. That extreme you have to avoid. But you should also avoid the other extreme. Sometimes you really don't have the ability. Sometimes you really suck. I am a great basketball player. Well, are you? If every time you play one-on-one with your peers at school, they beat you. Whenever you shoot the ball, you miss. You're slow.
Was ugly. He's so slow.
You can't jump high. You can't pass. All the coaches say that you're bad. All your friends say that you're bad. You're clumsy. You don't have an ounce of athleticism. Last time I saw you trip while walking on a flat surface. And then you still insist that you're a great basketball player.
Are you Delulu?
So being delusional is not the way to go. Sometimes you have to admit to yourself that, hey, I don't have the ability. I can't do this. Now, one more thing, and this is extremely important. Sometimes you really don't have the ability that is required for a certain field. However, it is something that you can acquire. So it would be a mistake to give up on your dream because you don't have the ability yet. Instead, you should invest time and money and train yourself until you acquire that required ability. For example, if you want to be a teacher, a trial lawyer, or a talk show host or TV presenter, you really need public speaking skills. Now imagine your public speaking skills are terrible.
That's terrible. That's terrible, man.
Does that mean you should give up on this dream? No. Just learn how to be a good public speaker. This is something that you can really acquire. Take some courses, attend some workshops, hire a public speaking coach, join Toastmasters, and you can improve your public speaking skills. I know a guy who is excellent at public speaking, but when he was in school, the first time he gave a presentation, it was terrible. He was reading from a paper, he was nervous, he was stammering, his knees were shaking, but now he's excellent, so you can improve. Don't judge your ability based on how you are right now. If it's something that could be acquired, work on it. Now, if after you spend all this time and energy and effort and training, you still don't have the ability, then maybe you should look for a different path. You should consider a different field. So to recap, when choosing a field, make sure you tick the A box, the ability box. You should have the ability that is required for that field. Make sure that you are objectively and reliably assessing whether or not you have the ability. Don't just listen to one person who tells you can't do it and conclude that you can't do it. If you don't have the ability, but it's something that could be acquired, work on it and acquire the ability. If you don't have the ability and you can't acquire the ability, then you should just forget about that field and move on and choose something else that leverages your strengths. If, on the other hand, you do have the ability, then you're good to go. So we've done the I, the interest, we've done the A, ability. We still have O. What is O? What does O stand for? Stay tuned for the next video. I hope you found this video useful, helpful, and insightful. Let me know in the comment section below. And see you next time. Sometimes you must admit that you don't have ability. You don't have ability.
No, Chris, no. Are you Delulu?
Note to my editing self, insert that Russell Peters clip where he says, I want to play in the NBA. Oh, so you play basketball? Not even once. I just love giant black men. You get my point? It's funny.